Be more professional. Flip it over. Flip it over. Is it? All right, social media post, take one. What's up, Next Gen Firefighter? Hey, check out my shirt today. It's from Chicago Fire. I've got two buddies, Sam Nolan and Byron Smitty, that work on Chicago Fire. Shout out to you boys. Hey, so today we're going to talk about the question that departments will ask: what have you done to prepare for the job of a firefighter? Well, first of all, we got to ask ourselves, what do we do on the job as a firefighter? What am I preparing for? So, what do we do on the fire department? We fight fire. We run EMS calls. We do community events. We interact with the community. Big one, we solve problems. And we provide customer service internally and externally, right? So there's traits and qualities that go into firefighting. So this is what this question is asking you. What have you done to prepare? And to describe what you've done to prepare, you need to describe the traits and qualities that you possess that are going to help you do the job of a firefighter. The job of fighting fire, the job of providing EMS to people, the job of interacting with the community, the job of solving problems, the job of customer service, both internally and externally, right? So, a lot of traits and qualities that go into fire. You got to be physically and mentally tough to fight fire. You got to be competent, right? If I teach you a hose lay at 9 in the morning, at 2 in the morning, we have our fire, I want you to remember what I taught you at 9 in the morning. It's just the way it is. You got to be coachable. I got to teach you those things that you're going to do on a fire. You got to be adaptable. If we're going from offensive to defensive, or if the command is telling us go from the first floor to the second floor, you got to adapt to all those changes. You got to be hardworking. For EMS, same thing. You got to be physically tough, mentally tough. You got to be resilient, right? You got to be adaptable. You might go from pulling a drowning baby out of a pool and drive away from that call and go right to a sweet little old lady who fell on the ground, who just can't get up and she needs help. You got to be adaptable. You got to be patient. You're going to come across people that are going to test your patience. They're going to drive you nuts. You got to be patient. You got to be compassionate. You got to be sympathetic. You got to be competent with your skills. For community events and interacting with the community, you got to be approachable, patient, compassionate, sympathetic, giving, adaptable. We solve a lot of problems on the fire department. Every time somebody calls 911, they have a problem. We solve it. If it's a heart attack, a stroke, a car wreck, or my smoke detector batteries are chirping and I have a vaulted ceiling and I can't reach them, can you do that for me? We are solving problems. And in order to solve problems, you got to have the traits and qualities of being competent, resilient, adaptable, coachable, imaginative, right? Sometimes we got to think outside the box to solve these problems. We got to be creative. And when it comes to customer service, internal and external. Internal is obviously your coworkers, right? The guys and girls that you work with every day. So you got to be hardworking. You got to be dependable. You got to be loyal. You got to be physically tough and mentally tough. You got to be adaptable, competent, coachable, respectful, patient. Yes, you have to be patient with your coworkers because sometimes they're going to piss you off. You got to be patient, man. You can't be biting heads off of everybody. External, for the external customer, the people who you interact with all the time. And the Phoenix Fire Department defines a customer as anybody who is witnessing the fire department work. Okay, so we might be on the side of the road working on somebody who got in a motorcycle accident and they're laying on the ground. The people that are driving by watching us work are our customer. Everyone that sees us is our customer. So the qualities you need for that is hardworking, physically tough, mentally tough, adaptable, resilient, competent, respectful, approachable, patient. Okay? And I'm sure there's lots of other traits and qualities that I'm not even remembering right now. But as we can see, there's a lot of consistencies with all these. Mentally tough, physically tough, right? We see a lot of consistencies. Competent, that's a big one. Competent, 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 right? Adaptable is another big one. Adaptable. You got to adapt all the time on the fire department. In every situation you go into, you are adapting to that situation. And that situation changes day by day, hour by hour, minute by minute, second by second. Okay? So when we're talking about, when they ask you, what have you done to prepare? Right? You're going to think about the things that you have done in your life, your jobs, your sports, your mom and dad, your grandma and grandpa who taught you traits and qualities. You watched your grandfather work really hard with his hands. He was a bricklayer for 40 years. You watched your grandpa or your dad as a bricklayer or a concrete worker for 40 years. They taught you how to work hard and be dependable, right? You watched your mom be an emergency room nurse. You watched your mom be adaptable. You watched your mom be competent, right? You played football. Your coach taught you how to be adaptable. Your coach taught you how to be competent. Your coach taught you how to be coachable, right? You can even get this from the military, your jobs, your wife, running a marathon. You can learn all these traits and qualities. So you have to go into your life and extract these situations that have taught you these traits, okay? These traits that have prepared you to be a firefighter. So when they ask you, what have you done to prepare? Then you can say, well, I used to play football and my coach taught me how to be competent and hardworking. And you'll give examples of how he taught you how to do that, okay? And then you tie it into the fire department. Because I know to be competent, I have to be competent on a fire. When I go into a new station and there's a new hose lay on the truck and I ask the captain and the crew to show me this new hose lay and they take me out at 9 a.m. and they show me this hose lay, I know that at 2 a.m. when we have a fire that kicks out and I'm half asleep, I have to be competent enough to remember how to do that hose lay. You see what I'm saying? So when they ask you, what have you done to prepare? You want to find your traits and your qualities that have prepared you to do this job as a firefighter. All right, next gen. I'm here to help you guys, okay? So make your comments, reach out to me, and let me try to help you guys get hired, okay? And you always remember, you're not alone. We're always in this together.